Hey trainers, Alakaham here with some more Pokemon video magic. I am back after a little hiatus that I needed to take for school and work, so I hope that everyone has been well and having a good time with the new season that has recently started for Go Battle League. We've got some cool move updates and everything. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my friends Too Cool and Mo Nasty, who got me this fantastic Pokeball building set for my birthday, which happened not terribly long ago. And they were wonderful in helping me celebrate that day. So that was a lot of fun. And thanks for the Pokemon themed gift. So this particular video is going to be focused on Buzzwole, and I wanted to put this moment in slow motion on the screen because I really love the way that Buzzwole moves. It's kind of goofy, but also kind of fun, doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger flex and everything. So I rated Buzzwole pretty hard when we had the Ultra Beasts available not long ago. Built one for the Ultra League, built one for the Great League. And I know that some other trainers have done videos on Buzzwole, but hey, I haven't done one yet, and I really wanted to because I think Buzzwole is pretty fun. So I'm going to go ahead and do a feature on this particular Pokemon. And because the Ultra League is going to be available today, I wanted to go ahead and do an Ultra League video there. Okay, so I ended up losing the lead here. Talonflame is going to be super effective against Buzzwole. Actually, both of Buzzwole's typings, Bug and Fighting, are going to be countered by the Talonflame. So I swap into Giratina for my safe swap, and I am met with an XL Greedent, something that I am very jealous of that I wish I could build. I don't really have the resources to do that right now, but one day I will build a Greedent, and Greedent is like stupid bulky, and it's also resisting all of the fast moves on my Giratina, so that is less than great. And fortunately my switch clock is up, so I'm able to swap out into my Buzzwole. And that probably wasn't the best idea ever, because they're just gonna swap into their Talonflame. But hey, it gave me enough energy that I could go ahead and throw this Lunge to debuff the Talonflame, which doesn't really amount to much because they're just going to use a flame charge and boost up their attack anyway. So this first match was not going great. I do have Regirock waiting in the wings there. Regirock is a very, very good Pokemon for the Ultra League. And if Dude Dad 11 is watching this, this is your reminder to go ahead and put that rare candy into your Regirock. It's really good. You should have 2 moves on your Regirock. Alright, so my opponent brings in a Scrafty, and this is all bad. Like, all of my Pokemon are countered by the Pokemon that my opponent is using. But I have maintained a couple of shields, so that's something. And I have 2 shields for my Regirock, but unfortunately Regirock is very, very weak to the Scrafty, and here I thought I was going to be able to farm down a Greedent, and that was a very bad idea, unless it wasn't. Did we actually make it through that? Looks like we did. That's My opponent still has 2 shields, so the only way that I possibly win this is if the opponent assumes that I have, like, just Stone Edge and Earthquake or something, and I take them by surprise with this Focus Blast. So this is either going to win or lose the match for us because it reveals that I have Focus Blast. Yeah, so they were not taking any chances there. Hard to blame them. And I just played this out for the sake of, playing it out, but I knew that there wasn't much of a win con right from the beginning when we got into that Giratina Greedent situation. So the first match, I put that one first, A, because it was the first one I played for that particular set, but B, because I wanted to get it out of the way. I made some mistakes on that one, not particularly the team's fault. The team is actually rated really, really well on PvPoke. When I was inputting my players, I got some really good ratings back. So ideally, we have counters to the major things that beat Buzzwole, like Talonflame. That's more or less the biggest threat for us to deal with. But anyway, we're doing pretty well in this next match. My team really does not like fairy types all that much, but this is fine because we did not hit a fairy on the lead, and Buzzwole was able to debuff it a bit, which will make a difference here because the charm moves are going to do less. But then they swapped out, so I guess I spoke too soon. Doesn't make that much of a difference here. And it's been a little while since I recorded these videos, so you can probably tell that I am surprised by some of these reactions here. Okay, my opponent brings in an Empoleon, which is not a super comfortable matchup for Giratina. You'd think it would be more comfortable than what it actually is. Giratina wins this in, almost every scenario, but it can take a pretty decent amount of damage from the Empoleon. But Giratina is deadweight against the Charmer that they've got there, the Sylveon, the fancy Eevee. And so I was not going to be shielding anything from that Empoleon as long as I could survive long enough to take out the Empoleon. I did not want to give any extra farm down feed to Fancy Pants once it came back in. So I immediately swapped out to Regirock because Regirock is going to by far be handling those charms the best of anything on my team, and because Stone Edge hits super hard, and Regirock reaches Stone Edges really, really fast, like a fiend. So here we go with the next Stone Edge, and this should be taking out the Sylveon, which it does. So Pink Lacy Eevee, as fantastic as it looks, is going to go down to the big golem thing, and we are going to take that win. And as I hope you have predicted, this is going to be the start of a very positive streak for this particular team. Alright, so we are headed into match number 3. Got Buzzwole on the lead versus Walrein. This is pretty good for us because we are doing super effective damage with our fast move here, counter. And who'd have thought, in real life, if somebody said, hey, I'm going to put this bulky Mosquito in a fight against a Walrus, I would definitely be thinking about the Walrus as the winner there. But, Buzzwole is more like Schwarzenegger with a Mosquito head. So if you asked me if Schwarzenegger could beat a Walrus in a fight, I don't know. I don't know how that would go. But Pokemon's trying to tell us how it would go because Buzzwole beats Walrein somehow. So the ice typing loses to the fighting typing, obviously, and I'm just going on about nonsense here. So we have the Giratinas against each other now, Giratina mirror match, but I had an energy lead, so that means my version of the Pokemon Undertaker thing is going to come out on top. And we come out with a little bit of residual energy, which is extra nice because now we can chip away at this Walrein a little bit more. And they try to farm us down, and it's not going to happen fast enough. So here comes Dragon Claw number 2. And we actually get the shield, which is fantastic. So obviously I'm going to come back in with the Buzzwole here. I probably didn't have to shield that. I probably could have let the Buzzwole go and just brought in the Regirock there. Yeah. But I made the switch to catch that Icicle Spear, which was going to do far less to the Regirock than it was going to do to Buzzwole. I think I was a little bit nervous that Buzzwole would be useful in the back, because for some reason I was hitting a lot of people running ABA teams instead of ABB teams. So occasionally that trend comes up. But I saw the typing in the upper right-hand corner and knew that they had a Talonflame coming in at this point. Oh, it was not a Talonflame. I need new glasses. I need bifocals, actually, is what I need. I need some things for reading and some things for distance. And anyway, there we go with my sides again. Sides? Asides? Soliloquy. I'm throwing rocks. I'm throwing rocks and winning this match, and that's the part that we are focused on for this particular video. All right, so I get a Stone Edge in. That's the words I needed there. Stone Edge to take out the Typhlosion, and Typhlosion actually survived that first Stone Edge, and I was actually pretty surprised by that. But I guess Typhlosion has a little bit more bulk than I thought it did, and that works great for the Typhlosion. But I was able to reach that second move, and that was even better. All right. Came across the old goon in the first matchup of this next game, and Obstagoon recently got a new move, Obstruct, which is great. I am a fan, and I might do a video on Obstruct Obstagoon myself sometime here soon. Obstruct Goon is pretty cool, and I was able to get a pretty good IV shiny. And the shiny Obstagoon is one of the better looking shinies in my opinion, because it actually does different stuff with the colors, whereas a lot of shinies like barely even look different than the main version. But whatever. That was a very close mid-game here for Game 4. I was a little unsure about what to do here, because on paper, Swampert beats Giratina just by going straight Earthquake the whole time. But I figured Buzzwole could do some extra chip damage probably, and then Buzzwole would probably be able to close the game. So as per usual with Buzzwole, my strategy is often to use Lunge first, and then after that to go for the Superpowers. Mostly because I don't want to debuff myself, and because Lunge is just a busted move and it debuffs the opponent. So I didn't realize how much extra energy this Swampert had, otherwise I probably wouldn't have shielded that. And do we have... Oh, we barely survive with 1 HP, and Mosquito Schwartz gets to another Lunge there, and we'll sneak in another counter. So now I'm feeling a lot better about this matchup with Giratina and Swampert, just because we have such an enormous health advantage, right? It does take a while for Giratina to actually chip away at the Swampert, but as long as we have a health advantage, the Swampert is not going to be able to hang on long enough to get to those multiple Earthquakes. So that worked out a lot better. And also that's really helpful to know about the Earthquake thing, because I've actually won several games that I should not have won because my opponent got nervous and threw Hydro Cannons instead of Earthquakes in that Giratina matchup. So anyway, there's that. Alright, we've got Buzzwole into Giratina, and my opponent doesn't seem to be moving, so as soon as I realized that, I stopped tapping a little bit, and yeah, they're still not moving, so I'm like, okay, we've got to get through this game. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the Lunge. Sometimes after I throw the first move, my opponent is able to unfreeze. And okay, yeah, there we go. So I got a little bit of an energy advantage, which is unfortunate. But, you know, it happens to all of us at some point or another, right? Where we get the famous go battle lag. So I actually had 2 better responses to the Giratina in the back, which is why I wanted to switch out and see what we were going to do with the mid-game stuff here. My opponent brings in a Walrein, which is an okay response to Regirock, but it's not a super comfortable one. And in the case where everybody has their shields up, and especially if I correctly shield an earthquake there, this is certainly going to favor Regirock. Yeah, look at all that damage. I mean, my word. Walrein is a busted Pokemon. It's very bulky, so it does survive things like a stab Stone Edge from a Regirock. But it did get a little bit of a nerf this season, which I think is probably good, that it's going to take a little longer to get to some of those moves. But after my opponent's Walrein goes down, and of course probably because of the lag at the beginning, they decided to go ahead and concede that match. So it goes, you know. Sometimes we get tough situations like that. I still feel pretty good about the circumstance I was in. I did have several responses to their Giratina and such, so I think it would have been okay. I decided to do this bonus match because I was just curious about using Mega Scissor. So another player who I do things with a lot, Dad11, volunteered to do a Master League match with me, and I was able to bring in this Mega Scissor. So I'm not sure. I recorded this match a while ago, so I'm not sure that Dragonite had the move update at this point. I think it did not have access to Superpower. I probably could have let that go, but because I wanted to sort of use and showcase Scissor a little bit more, or Scizor, or however you say it, I went ahead and used the shield. I really thought I was going to be able to farm down. And actually I did. Okay, so pleasant surprise for future recording, Kyle. And we're just going to go straight for the Night Slash, because I figure that probably has the most coverage on the general meta here. And my opponent did bring in a Mewtwo, so that is really good for this Mega Scizor. So we were able to cut down the Mewtwo by about half. I don't have any other really strong response to Mewtwo besides the Scizor. And my opponent goes for Shadow Ball, probably hoping that it was going to do a little more damage than it did, so if I farmed them down, that they'd be able to come in and have a little better chance with the next thing after Mewtwo. But yeah, in that circumstance, going for Side Strikes might be particularly helpful. And unfortunately for Dad, after that mid-game, they were just hard countered here. So, you know, the big whale can take a Brave Bird. So, yeah, and we just waterfall down. So that's unfortunate about the end game for Dad, but what a great play with some of the earlier parts of the game. Really handled that Mega Scissor well and managed shields really well. It just didn't work out in that particular game. But I really appreciate him doing the video with me so that I could play with Mega Scizor and have a little bonus battle to show y'all this time. So I really like our Dark Steel insect friend, and I think it's going to be a fun pick if we ever get to do Megas in the Open Master League again. So that was my video for y'all this week. Again, I apologize for taking so long between videos. It's just a very busy time with school and work and everything. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and I'll have more content ready for you soon. Until next time, trainers.